Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, December 21st, 2025. Our gorgeous 1950s themed press party was turned into a press scandal. Can you even believe that? The headline said, "Something stinks at Jabot Cosmetics, and it ain't just the classics line." Rude. I don't know about you, but I am shocked and offended. So, Newman Media released an article that made it look like Jabot was tanking, when really we know that the assets were being hidden to avoid Victor's AI superpower. Victor is loving this. This is his greatest Christmas present of all time to himself. Everybody else is scrambling and solemn, and Victor is like, ho, ho, ho. Instead of he, he's ho, ho, ho. Oh my goodness. You know, I thought that Victor had a very interesting line this week when he said Jack Abbott is the architect of his own downfall. Those were Victor's words, and they're actually very true of Jack's character historically. It was Jack's bright idea to take Jabot public all those years ago that opened the door to Victor's takeover. And it was Jack's idea to take the company offline that ultimately gave Victor the opportunity to retaliate by splashing it all over the pages of Newman Media. I mean, I've got to hand it to the mustache. He played his chess match perfectly. Jack's back is against the wall. He's pinned. He takes Jabot offline, and Victor reports it like Jabot is a sinking ship. And if he brings it back online, then Victor will unleash the AI. Jack is, I'll be damned if he do, and I'll be damned if he don't. Adam is I'll be damned too, because he's caught in this whole moral triangle between Victor and Jack and Chelsea. But Adam works for Victor's media company. I mean, he took the job knowing that Victor was planning to weaponize the company against the Abbotts. I'm pretty sure that was part of the job description. I kind of remember Victor making Adam agree to that when he took the job, so he really should have known this was going to come up, and Chelsea should have known it too. And I agree with Chelsea, but it's like she all of a sudden had a visit from the Ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, and suddenly she does not want to hurt the people that she cares about. I mean, she's always kind of had that position. But the reality of the position is something different. And she's arguing with Adam about it, saying she wants to be a good influence for Connor. You know, she wants the omega sphere of it all. But everybody should know when working with Victor Newman that, you know, that's not what you sign up for. You sign up to do things his way. He has the money. He has the power. You know, you're obligated to do what he wants or you're out of the job. Adam and Chelsea came into the coffee house swinging their shopping bags this week, having a good old Christmas season. And they ran into Jack. And Jack was doing this press conference on the patio, which I really appreciated. Just him and his phone sitting on the back patio, casual like, in crisis, but casual Crimson Lights live broadcast. And Jack tore into Adam and Chelsea so hard. There was wrapping paper on the floor all around them by the time Jack was done. I loved that. Peter Bergman was just so dang good in that scene. Just reminded me of all of the reasons I love Jack. Jack said, well, why don't you pass along a message for me to your father? You let him know that I would rather burn Jabot to the ground myself than let him get his hands on it, than let him win. I can't remember his exact words, but the sentiment was so powerful. And I'm just like ready to see that confrontation take place. I want to see Jack say that to Victor himself. And of course, Phyllis is right in the middle of this whole thing, which is right where she likes to be. Let's be honest. Phyllis likes being right smack dab in the middle of all the drama. And Daniel is on to her. I love the way he just sets it down straight. Daniel knows exactly what she did. He guessed the whole thing. And he does a great job of tugging on that guilty conscience of hers, doesn't he? I mean, it's almost hard to believe that Phyllis trusted that Victor would come through on his end of the deal. It's hard to believe that Phyllis trusted Victor at all. But I think Phyllis thought that she would give Victor the AI, he would use it on Jabot, then hand it right over to her, which would mean that if Phyllis was in control of Jabot, then she would have been in control of Marchetti, so she would have been able to help Summer. I do think Phyllis had the intention of helping Summer, but then Victor did not deliver, and now she's stuck with nothing. Although, I mean, it's not really Victor's fault that their deal didn't go through. I mean, Victor did intend to follow through on the plan he had with Phyllis, right? I don't think we can forget that. I mean, Phyllis was Team Victor, and Phyllis was the one who gave him the weapon, knowing, hoping, planning on him pointing it at Jack. But it was Jack taking Jabot offline that thwarted that plan, which ultimately was a good move for him. Because honestly, isn't it better to have some bad press than to have the shell of a company that has been digitally robbed blind? And now the Abbotts are just scrambling to try to pull a Hail Mary. Billy was given a blank check to negotiate with Phyllis, to try to get her to flip on Victor and steal the AI back in exchange for any amount of money that she would have wanted. But instead, I think due to all of Daniel's guilt tripping, she tells Billy she'll do it, but all she wants in exchange is ownership of Marchetti, so she can just have it signed over to Summer. She just wants it directly signed over to Summer. Geez, Phyllis would be in a bad spot if there were even one other hacker. If there were even one other hacker in town, she would not have quite the monopoly that she has now. But the other thing is, like, Phyllis could have just stolen the AI and, I don't know, partnered with the Abbotts in the first place. And considering how badly she's screwed over the Abbotts and they know it, this whole deal of Billy's could be a trap. Not to trap Victor, but to trap her. Who's to say that Phyllis doesn't go back in to try to steal the AI and then boom, caught red-handed? Phyllis needs to listen to Daniel's advice, because that's what the Abbotts should want. That's probably what Diane wants. They should honestly be most mad at Phyllis, don't you think? Because Victor coming at them was at least predictable. They at least knew that he was a threat. Phyllis coming after them was so random. It never really made any sense to me. And now she's going to position herself as the hero, saving the day against Victor Newman and negotiating with Billy and Jack to, let her daughter have this company, which, yeah, I mean, sure, let Summer have Marchetti. That'll be a good way to never have to deal with her on-screen absence ever again. We've had so much Summer talk this week. I started to get my hopes up, like maybe Summer is actually going to come back. But now I think that Marchetti's just going to get signed off over to Summer, so that we don't have to even factor that in anymore. Summer's just running Marchetti off in Europe. Boom, done, explained. But, I mean, I don't know what's going to end up working. The Abbotts are trying so many different things. Everybody's got a different plan. Jack's working with Nikki. Billy's working with Phyllis. Diane is sort of unknowingly working with Lauren, trying to lean on Michael. Well, I don't know. In the previews, maybe Lauren was just trying to figure out which way is better for Michael to go, since he's also stuck in the middle. But Diane is hoping that Michael will betray Daddy Victor. Well, I can tell you right now, that ain't gonna happen. Not after Michael practically had an existential crisis without him. But okay, let's pretend. We'll pretend for a week that this is gonna have any influence. Diane wants Michael to get proof that Victor had the AI, because if they can get that proof and then link it to what happened to Kane's company, then they can just have Victor thrown in prison forever. When the Abbotts realized that Victor had somehow known that Jack had taken Jabot offline, Diane immediately assumed that Nikki was the one who told Victor. And I just love that little bit of paranoia that Diane has when it comes to Nikki. It's fun, isn't it? And maybe if things don't go well between Nikki and Victor, Diane could get a little bit more paranoid over Nikki and Jack's relationship. I kind of like it. I mean, it wouldn't really even be that big of a leap to figure out that, like, if Jabot is offline, then that means nobody can get their Christmas gift bags. No, there had to have been customers all over the place being like, I can't order online. So, like, anybody who even was remotely curious would have been able to realize that something was going on with the company. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like, you would need to make the leap that Nikki was the one that told Victor. But no, it was Nikki. It was clearly Nikki. She must have been the one. But Jack knew that wasn't true, and then he went directly to Nikki and told her everything that had happened. And Nikki is ticked. She told Victor, Victor, you give me that AI right now so that I can destroy it, or I will leave you without looking back. I love the idea of Nikki just like peeling out of the driveway in her red Ferrari, sunglasses on, hair blowing in the wind, driving straight up to the athletic club revolving door where she will take a room for 2 weeks. Tops. Before they work it out. But you know what really surprised me was that when Nikki said she would leave him, Victor said, "You want to leave me? There's the door." He was scary. In that moment, he was absolutely terrifying, and she jumped. Did you see that? And she was a little shaky afterwards. Melody Thomas Scott is brilliant because she knew that was coming. Or do you think that that was actually a surprise? Because Victor did a really good job of leading up. He was like, "Really? After everything we've been together, you would leave me? Well, there's the door." Do you think that was planned, or was that just the magic? I don't know. But it's been a really good long time since we've had a real fight between Nikki and Victor. I feel like it's been all kisses and dancing and romance and flashbacks for at least the past year. But Nikki is putting her foot down on this one, and Victor don't like it. I thought it was a little funny that Claire connected the current Abbott-Newman feud back to herself. Well, I'm the one that pushed Grandma Nikki off the wagon. And then when she was off the wagon, Jack had to help her get back on it. And that's why Grandpa Victor's launching the war. See? It all comes back to me. Nah, I'm just kidding. It was very self-aware of her. How very self-aware, Claire. This is self-aware, Claire. But, I don't need Claire to be caught up in this drama. I need Claire to forget about the whole family drama and get busy uncovering Audra's secret. It's been 1 full week, and we've got no follow-up on the dead guy who was, bleeding out on the floor of the shadow room. I don't know, maybe it won't be a big deal. Audra seems to have moved right past it. She and Sally were talking this week, and the topic of conversation was not, she didn't have a lick of regret or anything else. It was just Sally and Audra talking about Kyle. And Audra was going on about Kyle in the way that she always does. And Sally finally said, "Are you sure you don't have the hots for him?" And Audra was like, "Well, he's charming every once in a while, and he does have those abs, but no, I hate him." It's Christmas in Genoa City. Somebody put a hunky chunky Crimson Lights coffee mug in my hand, please. Snowman or Santa head, which will it be? Every year I think I complain about those stupid Crimson Lights mugs. They are just so big and so obnoxious, and I would feel so embarrassed drinking out of them. And also they're so huge. How do you even get your lips around them? It's so much ceramic. But then this week, when Christmas showed up, sure enough, I was looking for those mugs. Like a hawk, I was looking for those mugs. And for the first couple days, I couldn't find them. In fact, I started to get kind of worried because Claire and Kyle, and then later Noah and Sienna, were having their coffee out of a red to-go cup. It was different from the white to-go cup with the Crimson Lights logo. This was a red cup. And I started started panicking. I'm not even kidding you. I thought, oh no, have we switched? Have we gone classy? Have we lost the Christmas kitsch? And now we're trying to go Christmas classy at Crimson Lights? Has time erased the funky, chunky, hunky mugs? I was seriously worried. And then sure enough, in the most unlikely of scenes, Adam and Chelsea having tears in her eyes, wanting to change her ways this Christmas. The Santa and snowman heads were right there on the table. I breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, it's funny how the little things that are almost like irritating when you take them for granted, suddenly they're gone and it's a panic attack. I need those mugs to feel safe. One thing though I feel like is true, like did Christmas come late this year? Cause like Christmas is in like 4 days and I don't think we've even seen the Abbott Christmas tree. I know there's no tree. I don't think the stockings are up or anything like that. So maybe next week. But, I mean, I feel like we needed to get a little more leverage out of Christmas. One thing I will say, I think it's clear that I was raised on Y&R, and this is reinforced within my own family too, but I cannot decorate for Christmas until Thanksgiving has passed. I always am secretly a little bit annoyed that Christmas takes over Thanksgiving. I want it to be Thanksgiving, thank you. And I never thought about it, but maybe it is at least in part because soaps are like that too. Like you gotta see Thanksgiving through before you can get to Christmas. But man, I mean, Y&R's had like 3 weeks to get the stuff up. And we're just now seeing it. I love the athletic club though. I love those 2 poinsettia trees that are on either side of the revolving door. And I loved that Billy and Phyllis were coordinated in there. Both of them had those, you know, Phyllis was in red. Phyllis was in red and a boob slit. And Billy had on red something. I can't remember what it was. Maybe a scarf. But and then there was those red and green plaid glass ornaments behind Daniel at that same little table. Ugh. It was just gorgeous. And also, by the way, I loved the fact that in that scene with Daniel, he called her squirrely. You know I love that. Sharon's cottage did not get decorated for Christmas this year. Unless you count the red and green in Sienna's BLT. But I don't think that counts. Yeah, Noah and Sienna were not about to sit there in Sharon's un-Christmassy house when they could be out shaking the security guards to get out and have a Crimson Lights coffee and then snuggle in at that little outlook point. Gorgeous. I think it's funny that all the LA characters come to Genoa City and they can't help commenting about how cold it is. Like, geez, I'm going to have to wear a light long sleeve. It's Wisconsin, don't you know? Well, Annie followed Matt Clark to Genoa City this week. She's still doing his bidding, even though he's out of money. I mean, didn't he get all his money wiped out? So I don't know how he's still paying her. But he instructed her to take care of Sienna, and then sure enough, next thing we know, boom, Annie got a gun. Okay. All right. She whacked Noah over the head with the gun. Probably could have just shot him. I don't know why she didn't, but she didn't. Instead, she just knocked him out and took Sienna, I guess. I guess Sienna's just going to be being held hostage again. If there is one theme for 2025, it is being held hostage, being kidnapped. There's a clear kidnapping theme on Y&R for 2025. I should put together a photo gallery of all of our kidnappings this year. It started with Sharon getting kidnapped and thrown into the sewer on New Year's Day, and it's a trend that has just continued. Luckily, Detective Burrows is in town, totally out of his jurisdiction. But he's hoping to bust Matt for drugs, which apparently is Matt's, like, go-to thing. He pulled a baggie of drugs out of his pocket and told Annie that is how he is planning on taking down the Newmans. I mean, what's he gonna do? Slip some drugs into Victor's black leather jacket pocket? Pfft, you're gonna have to come up with something better than that. I do get a kick out of bad things happening to bad people. How about that for a Christmas quote? I do get a kick out of bad things happening to bad people. Who said it? If you want to find out, you should go to yrchat.com. Let's read some comments, starting with Connie, who says, Chatter fan gossip. Another Y&R character link and name drop happened on Beyond the Gates. This time, it was Michael and Lauren. Devon made a special guest appearance regarding his music business after his BTG name drop, and I'm curious to see if it happens around Fenmore's fashions. Lauren and Esther have each appeared in a B&B episode during a fashion show. Other than Sally or Sheila Carter, has Y&R linked characters to another soap? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I just have to say, I love that Y&R is doing crossovers with Beyond the Gates. Is that the name? Sorry, The Gates. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't watch the show. I should, but I don't. But I should. But I think it's really smart that CBS, who still has 3 soaps, I mean, the others are down to 1. NBC has none anymore that's online. But I think all 3 of CBS's soaps air, and then the only other one that's going is General, right, that airs on TV. So I think it's really smart that they are cross-linking their characters so that they can cross-link their audience. Tavi says, I can't believe how quickly the current AI-focused story has become one of my favorites. I love the Jabot shutdown and Victor trashing them in the media. Diane's plan to throw Victor in jail, Nikki threatening to leave Victor, and Phyllis's and Kane's fling. Yeah, it has become pretty interesting. I mean, it's become less about the actual AI and just more about the dynamics that is created, and that makes it more enjoyable. Russell says, Jack was amazing today in the coffee shop. I found myself wishing they could use stronger words on daytime so that he could really let them have it. And Gary says, the Abbotts finally going down by Victor's hand is different and compelling. All these years, so many threats, but finally, at the end of 2025, action is finally going down. Action is finally going down. Yeah. Well, I asked you guys last week who you're rooting for in this whole Victor versus Jack feud. I guess it shouldn't be too surprising. 86% of you back Jack. Just 14% of you choosing Victor. Here's an interesting comment from Steven, who says, I voted Jack. Having spent 43 years as a criminal barrister, I'm probably saying that wrong, but it means lawyer, I've seen my fair share of felonious rogues. But Victor Newman's recent activity is pushing even my professional limits. It is high time the show developed a moral compass. In just the past few months, Victor's rap sheet has grown to include kidnapping, Jordan Howard, felony murder, Ian Ward, and extortion, Audra Charles. Furthermore, Victor's foray into AI-driven corporate sabotage isn't shrewd business. It's a textbook violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Watching a once distinguished lawyer like Michael Baldwin facilitate such blatant cyber terrorism is frankly the most unrealistic part of the script. In his absolute abdication of his duty as an officer of the court, he has moved beyond defense and into professional malfeasance. He's less a lawyer and more an unprincipled shyster with no redeeming qualities, single-handedly giving the profession a bad name. As for Adam and Chelsea, two more unworthy parents are hard to imagine. Not only do they serve as a masterclass in criminal behavior for their son, but their failure to get Connor to the NLCS, where his presence might actually have turned the tide, is the final strike in their parental record. Dang, Steven. That's the best comment of the week. I mean, wow. You really laid it out. Thank you. An actual list of Victor Newman's crimes just for this past year from a real live attorney. Wow. We are lucky to have you, Steven. Naomi says, pack a bag, Nikki. Victor uses the phrase, you almost died that night, to justify punishing Jack and Nikki for the drunken night of debauchery. He is actually blinded by rage and jealousy to the point of obsession. I hope Nikki has her own money because Victor will remove her from Chancellor. He only loves Nikki if she plays the game. Well, if she plays on his side of the game, for sure, Naomi. But I also hadn't thought about the fact that he can just boot her right out of Chancellor if they get divorced. I mean, Nikki her livelihood and everything is so tied to Victor. I'm sure she's got her own money at this point, but I mean, most of it has got to be tied to Victor. Oh, but Sharon W. says, Victor, I stand behind your anger 100%. You are Nikki's husband, not Jack. She owes 100% allegiance to you. You know, one thing that struck me, Sharon W., was the fact that Victor, like when Nikki said, hand me the AI, Victor said, what, so that you can give it to Jack? I mean, it's really surprising that he trusts Nikki so little that he would think that she would actually take the AI and give it to Jack. I mean, does he not trust her at all? I feel like that was just something he said to hurt her, which is such the nature of their relationship over the years. I mean, they really used to tear through each other. Their relationship has not always been as calm as it is now. We just happened to get to this point. But I thought an interesting poll question for this week would be, do you think Nikki and Victor are going to actually break up? Is this actually going to happen? Is Nikki going to leave him? Or are they just going to smooth it over and reunite like always? YRChat.com. That's our poll question for the week. Let's talk about Phyllis. Kamna, I love this idea. Are you ready for this? Everybody hold on to your hats. Wouldn't it be great if Phyllis tries to steal the AI software back for the Abbotts and fails, only for everyone to find out that Nikki and Michael hired Kevin Fisher to steal it and destroy it? That was my head exploding. I mean, yeah. Kevin is Michael's brother. Michael could at least make a fake phone call. If Greg Ricard is not available, I know he's on days, so I don't know what conflict would be there. But if Michael could even just make a phone call to allude to that, that would be really smart. And that is a really smart comment, Kamna. Victoria says, Daniel is always spot on with his mother. Phyllis can't get any misdeed past him. Daniel provides a mirror for Phyllis to look at into to see her actions. Phyllis's response is to deny and walk away. I wish for a change. She confided in Daniel and asked for his help. Yeah, it's like Phyllis's kids are that mirror reflection of her, almost like that, the better half of herself, the better part of her conscience, which she rarely follows. Sharon W. says, more screen time for Daniel and Phyllis, please. Doesn't matter if they're disagreeing or agreeing on a topic, they're always fantastic together. And actually, I thought that the scene on Friday was brief. Wait a minute. Their dialogue was enjoyable, but what has carried their scenes forward with such viewer delight is each actor's skill and charisma. Yeah, the actors are so great, and they really feel like mother and son. I feel like we need Summer back to complete their little trio. Russell says, Sally finally said out loud what everyone already suspects. Audra is constantly thinking and talking about Kyle. She might just have a hate-want mix going on. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think of it, but it makes complete sense. I mean, they have slept together, so it's not like they aren't attracted. There's a precedent there. T. Nicole says, now I wonder if there will be an Audra-Kyle Noah triangle coming up. Kyle and Audra with a love-hate between them, and then the old flame with Noah. Could be. Victoria says, I love this idea. Sally may have shaken up Audra's denial of her feelings for Kyle. Once Audra acts on them, Kyle will try to resist. Eventually, Kyle will give in, just as Claire is willing to give him another chance. And then in walks Noah, and he says, Sienna who? Yeah, wow. You know what? That's interesting because Claire and Kyle are supposed to partner up against Audra. What if they get right to the edge and then Kyle realizes he can't do it? He can't pull the trigger on Audra because he has feelings for her. That'd be kind of good. Russell says, poor Noah, how many blows to the head can he take? Steven says, imagine a 2026 where Annie replaces Chance at the GCPD with Burroughs as her talented partner. A police force that actually solves crimes? Now that would be a twist. The spies who came in from the cold finally turning on the lights in Genoa City. Yeah, you know what? It is kind of like these two are replacing Chance. Oh, I hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right. I mean, there's going to definitely be permanent positions for at least Burroughs. I can't see Annie. I mean, unless she does the right, gets on the right side of the law, I feel like she's probably going to be expendable. But Burroughs is definitely sticking around. He's the Chance replacement. We need a hot cop after all. Victoria says, Crimson Lights is exploding with Christmas cheer. Esther has been a busy little elf this year. But will the Newmans and the Abbotts have time to decorate between all the AI scheming? I mean, does Y&R have to decorate every set that they use? I don't know. I mean, I guess I can understand not going to the trouble for like Sharon's house. It's only been a couple scenes, but there's been quite a bit at the ranch and the Abbott house. It's surprising that they're not decorated. Oh, but maybe decorating is coming next week. Connie says, Merry Christmas to me from Y&R. Kids on the set for the holidays. And I am tickled pink to see Johnny and Katie in the preview. I would also love to see Connor. He's been missed. That Katie, she was a beautiful girl, isn't she? I saw her and I'm like, oh, she's grown up so much and she's gorgeous. And I love Johnny. My Christmas list, my Christmas wish for Y&R. I want to see more Johnny in 2026. That kid is funny. He's got great timing. He's just got personality. He comes off like he would be Billy's son. And I just feel like now would be such a great time to start building around him. I wonder if there's any chance we could get that going. Russell says, you can see Crimson Lights, the Abbott's house, the Newman Enterprises, all from the Chancellor Park outlook. The city shots that show the downtown and the park in the foreground, but the bridge don't add up to that view in my mind. Russell, that's funny. Yeah. Trying to place that opening shot against what we're actually seeing on the sets in Genoa City, definitely not going to add up, but that's funny. Connie says, I was disappointed with the launch party. First, it was over way too fast, and who knew after days in a maze or a locked room, we'd only get one day of a fun costume party. The guests barely outnumbered the event staff. There was no mingling, interesting interactions between the guests, or media interviews. Dang! I wanted to see some backbiting zingers, alcohol-induced flirting, or confessions. Oh, you know what? First of all, it was over way too fast. It was nothing. I was like, oh, there's like the whole article coming out just completely stopped the party. There was barely anything that even happened after that. But somebody mentioned, was it you, a couple weeks ago, that Billy has stopped drinking, and then we did see that little moment of him looking at the alcohol bottles and then choosing to take the water. So that's really subtle, and it hasn't been addressed yet, but I wonder if that's coming up. The other thing, yeah, there was a ton of event staff. I liked those old TVs. Those were beautiful. As you know, I have an affinity for the old television sets, but it absolutely broke my heart that they put that like vinyl lettering that said Abbott Communications. I hope that was temporary, because if they vinyled that over those beautiful old vintage television screens, that's going to be really hard to scrape off. Let's talk fashion. This is my biggest complaint. Sue W. agrees, saying Tessa was lovely, but I'm not sure she understood the assignment. I mean, Tessa looked absolutely gorgeous, but why was she the only woman that didn't get a 50s style dress? She was the only woman that didn't get it. I mean, maybe because she was a +1 or it was sort of a last minute gig, but whatever. They could have put her in a dress, a good dress, and they didn't. Was Daniel in 50s attire? I don't think he was either. Daniel and Tessa were not really dressed for the affair. But Sharon W. says, Abby, in her bubblegum pink gown with matching gloves, beautiful from head to toe. Yes, and Devon looked really cute in the suspenders. Victoria says, Sally reminded me of Rita Hayworth. And Abby reminded me of Marilyn Monroe. Oh, okay, I gotta pause there because you nailed it. That's probably exactly what they were going for. You're right. Sally was Rita Hayworth and Abby was Marilyn Monroe from, oh boy, not Material Girl. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Yes, that's exactly it. Oh, Victoria also says Phyllis looked amazing in her 50s glamour outfit. And her entrance was so Phyllis. I was dying at Phyllis. I mean, I just couldn't even believe how freaking fabulous she was walking through the door with the headscarf. And didn't she have glasses too? I mean, it was just like I couldn't believe my eyes. And her hair with that big curl in the front. Phyllis was perfection. And she had the dramatic entrance that went with it. Russell says, I loved Victoria's poodle skirt and the bobby socks look. So very cute. Yes, that was exactly the idea, the bobby skirt and the socks. And by the way, I'll read my own comment here. I didn't think Nate could get any sexier, and then he put on a hat. It was like he was at 100% sexy, and then he put on the hat and he was at like 200% sexy. I don't even know how he pulled that off. A couple other fashion notes from me. Diane's bow was absolutely giant, but gorgeous. And didn't Jack and Kyle and Diane make a beautiful little trio in their red and white? Yes. Adam's suit was 5 times too big, but absolutely perfect. He had that Dick Tracy styling with the giant shoulders, baggy. I mean, Adam was definitely the best dressed man. It was way too big. It doesn't work today. But Adam, in quotes, understood the assignment. And that hair, the hair was so like stiff and shiny. You could ice skate on it. And also, one other thing I've got to say. Lily is loving this freaking attention from Kane. The whole time, she was just sitting there saying, look at everybody looking at us. Oh, they must be having opinions about us. So Lily is loving the attention. She loved stirring up the room, walking in with Kane. So Lily's going to pretend like, she's above it all. But the truth is, she was lapping it up. Well, let's end comments on this. Last week I asked you guys to fill in the blank. If I could bring back one character from the past, it would be... Now, I gotta tell you, I got a lot of comments on this question. Bringing back one character from the past, only one. I'm going to read you the list of some of the people that got mentioned, and there are a lot, starting with Alistair, John Abbott's long-lost twin. I got a kick out of that one. Amber, love Amber. Amy Wilson, Nick's old girlfriend, who ended up confessing, or she sort of broke open the whole Matt Clark case. That would be perfect timing for Amy Wilson to come back. Chance, yeah. Daisy Carter, oh, that warms my heart. I love Daisy Carter, and I love the actress who played her. David Kimball, oh, I mean, in a year of villains, yes. Gloria, can't believe there was only one vote for Gloria, and I can't believe I didn't give it. Larry Wharton, this one kills me too. I love Wharton. I even like, especially when he was dating Jill, but like I just loved Larry. And by the way, he's relevant to the Matt Clark Nick storyline because Wharton is someone who Nick met while he was in jail for killing Matt. So Y&R, take note, Larry Wharton. One vote for Leanna Love. Yeah. One vote for Lola. We have Martin. Yeah. Miguel, that was my vote. I vote Miguel. It's Christmas. I need to have Miguel around for Christmas. That'd be a nice comeback. And I really feel like, why did Miguel and Esther, like Miguel and Esther need to be, Esther's all man crazy. Why can't she have a storyline where she, is dating somebody and then all of a sudden, like after some buildup, it's revealed that Miguel is who she's been like dating apping with. That would be amazing. Ronan? Yes, especially if it's the original actor. And since Chance is gone, yes. Summer needs to happen. And Tucker, yes. Tucker is who I really thought was coming back. I'm surprised. And I really especially liked Trevor St. John. I'd love to see him back soon. Okay, now here's the people who got more than one vote. John Abbott got 2 votes. Yes, the show has not been the same since John died, and Neil Winters also got 2 votes. I mean, but here's the thing about bringing back, I mean, obviously if I could bring people back from the dead, that would be another thing. But I mean, I don't think I would ever want a recast of John or Neil. Brad got 3 votes. Yeah, that's another one I probably should have thought of. And actually I did. I was thinking of Brad because I always liked him. Don Diamond is so perfect on The Bold and the Beautiful, and it would never happen. But I mean, I was devastated when they killed Brad. Also, of course, I mean, this is coming, Drusilla. We've been saying that for years. It is absolutely amazing that they would not have brought back Drusilla at some point. Whether it would be Victoria Rowell or a recast, I don't know. It's just shocking that they would not want her to be part of the Winters family. And she would be so needed right now. Theo got 3 votes. That's pretty surprising, but he's great. Sheila Carter got 5 votes. Ugh, you're killing me. That would be so good. But we can still enjoy her on Bold and the Beautiful, but you're right. She'd be great on Y&R again. Paul got 6 votes. I'm surprised, but people really, miss him. Again, it's so unnecessary that he's not around. I was sort of secretly expecting him to show up at Danny and Christine's wedding, but it just seems like there's too much bitterness there. The number 1 person who I would bring back from the past got 13 votes. None other than the Grand Dame of Genoa City, Katherine Chancellor. I think about Katherine so often, and so seeing so many people say that they miss her just makes it really clear to me that she was just more than a character. Katherine Chancellor was a presence, she was an indelible presence, someone who just can't be removed from the idea of the show. She cannot possibly be forgotten. And I just saw Katherine's name so many times this week, and I feel that way too. And I'm not meaning to make this about myself, but I have to tell you that when I wrote the Fauna and the Flora, and when I recorded the audiobook, I channeled her presence. I mean, I really, really tried to imagine her in my mind. And if you've heard the audiobook specifically, I think you will agree. She is there. She is alive in a different form, I mean, I've had several people tell me that they were astonished by how much I was able to sound like her, and not just her voice, but the way that she delivered. It's like she was with me. I know that's silly to say, but I feel like she was kind of with me throughout that process. And I've been re-listening to the audiobook at night, and I just last night listened to the scene between Katherine and Nikki, and just the way Katherine talks, darling, look at me, it's just, it made me laugh, because I just feel like she's there, and I can just see her, and it made me laugh, and I was proud at how well I nailed it. Actually, here's a nice comment that I received from Amy, who says, "Hi, Allie. I've been listening for a while, but finally got around to engaging with the site. I got into Y&R officially last Christmas while I was home with my mom, and I've been hooked ever since. I used to watch with her as a kid, so it was easy to take on in my adulthood. I wish I would have done it sooner. My mom and I bond over Y&R, and now I can't wait to give her your gift of your book for Christmas. I started listening to the audiobook, and it's become my comfort story before bed. I appreciate you. Happy holidays." Oh, Amy, you watched with your mom as a kid, and then just by chance last Christmas it came up, you're watching it, and then now you're picking it up and carrying it on. That's so special. And then the fact that, that Y&R ties back to a past memory, but then you're able to bring it into the present. That's just so beautiful. Happy holidays to you too, Amy, and everything. So that's so nice to hear. Tell your mama I said hi. And actually, you're listening to the audiobook at night, like right before bed. That's me. I'm doing that too. So we're listening together. And I guess, I don't know, that it just, Y&R is a way to connect people. And I just, the more I talk to people about Y&R, the more and more people, talk to me about the Fauna and the Flora, the more I'm like, this is just all connecting in so beautifully. And yeah, the holidays are crazy. The holidays are busy. I know everybody's got a lot on their plate, but if you are looking for something comforting, something familiar, but new, the audiobook is definitely there waiting for you. You don't have to read it. You don't have to focus. You can just relax and let me read it to you. Okay, everybody. That is the end of another Y&R Chat. I think you should go to yrchat.com this week to see what the new fill in the blank question will be, because those are really fun. I hope I can keep it up. I've got ideas for this week and next week, but if you have any ideas for fun fill in the blanks, I would love to hear them. You can leave them at the website. I got a lot of really good photos of the brief party. I got pictures of everyone's outfits if you want to see that there. And of course, there's a ton of lovely comments, and I've been chiming in there throughout the week too. So go to yrchat.com to get your Y&R fix throughout this busy holiday week. I think there's going to be a classic episode airing on Thursday, and then all the other ones are new. I think. So we're only going to be down one new episode, but we will be up next week chatting about it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday, and I will see you next Sunday. I love you guys. Bye.